This week's parsha is a double portion. Matot, which means tribes, and Masei, which means journeys. The double portion covers Numbers 32 to Numbers 36:13. Matot begins with Moses speaking to the heads of the tribes of Israel and telling them, this is what Adonai has commanded. Firstly, chapter 30 deals with the matter of vows made to Adonai, and when and how they can or cannot be annulled. Basically, if anyone makes a vow, and they are obligated to keep it no matter what, with few exceptions to this rule. One of the exceptions is that a young woman living in her father's house is allowed to annul a vow if her father hears it and
Balak, Balaam wanted to curse Israel, but couldn't because the Lord nixed that plan. So instead, Balaam encouraged the Midianite women to get extra friendly with the Israelite men and encouraged them to join in their feasts where all sorts of unsavory things happened. This resulted in a plague where 24,000 died. Greenwood Village has a population of 15,749, and Evergreen has a population of about 9,000. So picture both of those communities being entirely wiped off the face of the earth. Anyway, Israel fought and lots of people died, including the Midianite kings and Balaam himself. Israel plundered the Midianites, the herds and the flocks, and set the cities and settlements on fire. However, they spared all the women. The Lord had made it very clear up to this point that he wanted everything wiped off the face of the earth, and Moses was understandably upset when he found out that they kept the best of everything and only got rid of what they deemed important. Knowing that they had spared the women particularly angered Moses, since they were the entire reason for the plague in the first place, and they caused Israel to walk away from Adonai. To continue, the fighting men purified themselves after being in contact with dead bodies. The plunder was then divided, with the Lord's portion going to Eleazar and the Cohen and the Levites, some going to those who fought and the rest going to the community. Chapter 33, the last chapter in Matot, concerns the tribes of Reuben and Gad, later joined by half of the tribe of Manasseh, who asked for the lands east of the Jordan as their portion in the promised land, as they were prime pasture lands for their herds. Moses was very angry at their request, calling them a brood of sinful men. However, he still allows it when they promise to join the fight to help Israel conquer the lands west of the Jordan. Moses made it very clear that if they didn't do this, it would be considered a sin, and be sure your sin will find you out. After giving Moses these instructions, the Lord promptly informed him that after they reached the land, Moses will die and never actually get to go inside. That must have been a pretty devastating thing for Moses to hear. Matot Masei reviews Israel's journey. Chapter 34 is full of Adonai's instructions on where the borders of the promised land should be and how the space for the remaining 9.5 tribes is to be assigned by lot. Chapter 35 describes the 6 cities of refuge which are designated safe havens with conditions for those who have killed inadvertently. The interesting thing is that these cities were not only for Israel but also for outsiders. 3 of the cities were east of the Jordan and the other 3 were west of the Jordan. The chapter also deals with what constitutes murder. To Adonai, murder starts with hating your brother. Actually, committing the physical act is just the extension of that. However, verse 29 states that God's justice is that a murderer must be put to death, only on the testimony of more than one witness, which helps keep everyone from being falsely accused of things all the time. On the other hand, God does not take murder lightly. Verse 33 states that blood pollutes the land, and no atonement can be made for land polluted by bloodshed except for the blood of the one who sheds it. Finally, chapter 36 deals with the daughter of Zelophehad, who marry within their own tribe so that the estate they inherited from their father will remain with them and not go to another tribe. The portion I chose to chant is Numbers 32, chapter 32, verses 6 through 9, and it says, They went up to the valley of Eshcol and viewed the land, but they discouraged the hearts of Bnei Israel not to enter the land which Adonai had given them. The anger of Adonai was aroused that day, and he swore an oath, saying, "The men who came out of Egypt from 20 years old and upward will not see the land I promised." Oh, wait, sorry, reading the wrong part. Okay. Moses replied to the sons of Gad and Reuben, "Should your countrymen go to war while you dwell here? Why do you dishearten Bnei Israel from going across to the land that Adonai has given them? Your father did this when I sent them from Kadesh Barnea to look over the land. They went up to the valley of Eshcol and viewed the land, but they discouraged the hearts of Bnei Israel not to enter the land which Adonai had given them." The thing that really spoke to me about this portion is the fact that the Lord had given the Israelites a clear path to go to the land, and they were being discouraged not to. And I find a lot of time in life, the Lord will tell us to do something that we don't understand, and it may be something we deem not very easily done, or something we don't want to do because we're afraid of it, or for whatever reason. And the thing is, the Lord doesn't want us to be discouraged from following him just because of how we feel about it or how other people tell us we should feel about it. And that's something I found really nice.